We all need to reevaluate and innovate. Take what we're doing in new and surprising directions. In the aftermath of 9/11, when people questioned whether New York City would ever recover, Mayor Bloomberg heeded the lessons of the 1970s. He found ways to make government more efficient and preserve our quality of life. But he also creatively invested in new initiatives to ensure the recovery and build a foundation for future growth. He seized control of the schools, committing billions to remake a system that had failed our children. He created the largest city marketing agency and then tripled its funding. And he embarked on the most ambitious land use transformation in the city's modern history, tying it in many places to the programs launched with the help of so many of you in this room under the new marketplace housing plan. In the depths of the 9/11 fiscal crisis, he and Geraldine found the resources to launch the largest affordable program ever by an American city, creating or preserving housing for 500,000 people. We harnessed the power of the Housing Development Corporation by enabling it to plow all of its surplus money back into affordable housing and bond more than $1 billion a year. And when the market turned hot, under the leadership of Sean Donovan and Raphael, we raised the stakes even further and then innovated with things like inclusionary zoning. All of these investments in neighborhoods, in parks, in safety, and education gave New York a resurgence that enabled us to produce a large surplus, which were used in part to cushion the blow of the next downturn, whenever it would come. Now, the new marketplace housing plan built on our long, proud history of responding to housing crises in New York City with innovation. And CHPC has been there every step along the way. During the 70s, the city began aggressively acquiring thousands and thousands of units through in-rem actions from bad landlords. And in the 80s, Mayor Koch's unprecedented plan to stop focusing on discrete, one-off developments and tackle communities instead, with a comprehensive vision spanning the city and guidelines to match, began to enable the city to bring back thousands and thousands of blocks from the South Bronx to East New York, rebuilding entirely new neighborhoods, generating jobs, and restoring life to the city. It created the industry of affordable housing that has carried us through today. In the past 30 years, New York City has made it clear that affordable housing, even when times are tough, in fact, especially when times are tough, is fully supported and remains a top priority. Once again, it's incumbent on all of us, from city government to private enterprise to nonprofits, to recognize how interconnected housing is to everything else in New York, from neighborhood stability to jobs to the mix of people and the talents that the city can attract and retain. We cannot simply rely on the tactics we've been using, and we can't do nothing. That means we all have to push ourselves to think creatively about how to use the strengths of this current moment, and I promise you, there are some. Under the leadership of Raphael Sestero, whether it's exploring the potential in greening the housing stock to create jobs and make buildings more efficient and affordable, or forging new partnerships with lenders and the federal government in neighborhoods to restructure or even purchase loans where foreclosures and falling values are threatening stability. There are options out there if we are creative and bold enough to pursue them. And we know that we'll find allies as we move forward. For instance, something tells me the federal government will be pretty receptive right now to working with New York City on housing policy. The important thing to remember is that history has taught us that this too shall pass. We can't know for sure how long or how far we have to go, but we can know, based on 200 years of history, that our economy is cyclical, and that we have proven time and time again that with innovation, investment, and counterintuitive thinking, we will emerge from these times stronger than ever. New York always has, and it always will. Thank you very much.